The content in this magazine could contain references of topics and difficult subject matter that may be triggering. Please honor yourself, inner knowing, and proceed with whatever help or guidance you feel is intuitively aligned. Welcome to Sovereign Magazine Podcast. I'm Nicole George, CEO and founder of Sovereign. I'm so happy you are here. We are the magazine podcast and community guiding 5 million women to their sovereign selves. From heart-led conversations to magical meditations, our inspiring guests will show you how they can help you step into your sovereign self. Are you ready to listen to your inner voice and step into your power? Then keep listening to hear all of the intuitive messages meant for you today. Hello, I have the privilege of reconnecting with Anna Widmann, one of our amazing contributors. She's so special. I'm so excited she's back today because she has something so special for us. So definitely stick around. Anna is a spiritual mindset coach who helps women reconnect with their true essence. And as a former people pleaser and empath, she knows firsthand how easy it is to put others' needs ahead of your own and lose sight of your own personal power. And now she's on a mission to help guide women in trusting themselves, embracing their uniqueness, and sharing their magic with the world. Anna's work is all about turning inward and living unapologetically. Welcome back, Anna.
Thank you so much for having me again. I'm very excited.
Oh, this is going to be such a great episode because today we are talking about the fear of criticism, which is our July new moon issue. And in your article, The Journey to Inner Harmony, you give a really powerful reflection about your journey inward and how you were trying to avoid criticism by striving to either be perfect or like the people-pleasing version of yourself. And I find that so relatable because it's so often hard to maintain our own inner harmony. And it always comes at a cost, which usually is sacrificing our own inner peace. And so, for those who haven't had the chance to read your beautiful article just yet, why don't we give them a little bit of a recap about your experience and how you got here?
Yeah, of course. So I found that something that not only I have, because when I've opened up about how vulnerable I am to criticism, and I always felt kind of ashamed around it, it's like, oh, me too. I have that too. There were so many voices echoing my own journey that I thought is unique. Criticism wasn't, even though it was phrased lovingly for me from childhood on, it was like a threat. It felt like a knife. It felt really violent, even though it didn't come from a person who wanted to threaten me. It came from my parents. It came in a loving way, or it came from teachers. But there was always like, it always kind of threatened me. It put me in a state of like, oh my God, I did something wrong. This like making mistakes was, in my mind, such a big, heavy thing, such a like no go that it took me years and years and years to like find why is that, and much more importantly, like how to get out of this state, because what it does, that's why I call it the journey to the inner harmony, is by adjusting to being as perfect as I can and being as nice and not bothering others so that there wouldn't come any criticism. I try to, control, manipulate, you can almost say, my environment as much as I could as a child to feel safe as I could. But that came at the cost of me not even knowing what I actually wanted. So the loss of self, I would now say, quite frankly. But it's like that. It felt like, who am I? What do I really want to do? Is that actually something that I wanted to do? Or is this just my response so that there wouldn't be any discussion? There wouldn't be any criticism coming up. So a lot of like rediscovery of the self was needed after I became aware of how much this criticism actually hurt me deep inside.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that you use the word like rediscovery or reconnecting with yourself, because I think that one of the words that I actually loved the most in your article is about this word choice and
Mm.
how you stopped viewing criticism as a threat, but as a choice, right? A choice to reconnect with yourself, a choice to go deeper, to embrace your inner voice, and to kind of see your potential. You even talked about how when you started seeking out a mentor and how they saw potential in you much more than you saw in yourself. And that's a choice that we can ignore our own inner potential just because we're looking for so much external validation, right? And that nice girl personality within us, how we're constantly people pleasing. So I'm really enjoying this aspect of choice and acceptance and transmuting it based on your inner values. And I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that.
Yes, it was actually the turning point that you just mentioned because my first mentor, he was repeating himself a lot of the time. And he always said, you can either accept or reject anything that comes to you. And I haven't heard that before, even though I was long down my spiritual road and I've read so many books. But like the concept of the power is mine to say, like, what do I let in to my aura, my subconscious, my world, essentially. It never came to me in a conscious way. So when I heard that, oh, I can choose to like not believe what they were saying about me. I can choose to not take on the criticism or the rejection or whatever fear I had around the particular critique or mistake that I thought I'd made. It was such a relief. And it took me quite a while to actually believe that I can, but I tried it out on like very small stuff. And the empowerment that I felt from it compared to before, like this, oh my God, I did something wrong. I need to kind of make it up or vanish from the ground because that was so embarrassing to me, even though it was just a little thing. That changed a lot. So it was, I often compare it to a light switch being turned on because it felt so dramatically different. So this is only quote unquote a mindset shift. But for me, it was the initiation to actually discovering more and more about how can I deepen this? How can I ingrain this even more into my body? How can I actually make this shift stick within every day, not just as a conscious thing that I'm thinking of once, but like as a reaction because it's embodied. So that led off to a whole nother journey for a whole nother talk.
We're going to go into our steps to our sovereign self because I want to make sure we have enough time for that today, because Anna is going to take you on a magical journey. She is going to be talking with you and providing you ways that you can do some stress relief, because whenever we're doing this work, stress comes with fear, right? And we're talking about the fear of criticism today. So not only are you going to do a little stress relief, but she's going to take you on a deep visualization using some tapping work. So get yourself ready, comfortable, whatever you need to do. Pause if you need to. She's going to be magical. And so here we go.
Okay, amazing. So I try to do my best to describe it for audio as much as I can. But what we do first is release some of the stress that we hold. And I would love to invite you to close your eyes if you can, lay down or make yourself comfortable. And then bring to mind a situation where you feel the fear of criticism or in which you maybe have been criticized before and it actually has gotten to you, it hurt you. There is something that is still there. It could be a situation at work or within the family, with a friend, whatever it is. Bring the first one that comes to mind closer. And then we start with a little bit of somatic exercise so that we can let our body know that it is safe to work on this. And we don't have to stay in the stress mode, but we can actually feel safe while looking at this particular memory. So we rub our hands together to create some warmth. And then you put both of your hands over your eyes for a second. Close your eyelids. Take a deep breath in, and then move to the side of your eyes, to your temples. And you can sigh out if it fits into your breathing pattern. And then take another breath in and go behind your ears with both of your fingers, like you would stroke a kid. Bring the hairs behind the ears, go down your neck, and hang in a little bit on your shoulders, using a little bit of force because there's so much tension normally around the shoulders. And then we end with both hands on the heart. And normally there comes a big sigh or a yawn or the dropping of shoulders, because that's kind of a short key to tell our body everything's fine. We can relax. We can go into rest and digest. We can work on whatever we want to work. And if you're here and you feel comfortable, then I'm inviting you to bring back that situation again where you have already experienced criticism or you fear that you will. But this time, you're not in that situation, but you're looking at a TV screen. You're looking at a screen, looking at yourself and whoever is with you. And you are kind of the third person looking at whatever happens. And you let the situation play a little bit, not too far, not until it feels really uncomfortable, but so that you kind of get like, oh, okay, that's what's happening now. And then when you have that, you can press pause mentally and just freeze the picture of wherever you are criticized, wherever you feel that your body gets a little bit of tension. Maybe you feel it in your chest, you feel it in your neck or your shoulders, or your eyes start to like be narrow and wrinkled, or you get tension in your body, whatever it is that's uniquely to you and everything's fine. This is your physical reaction to that fear. And it's wonderful that it comes up because now we can work with it. So what we do now is give your body a different way to react to this, so that next time you don't have to go into this contraction, this closing off of the body, but you can stay a little more tall, a little more in your own essence, and teach your body that there's actually another way. Your frequency can actually be a different one, even if there's criticism, even if you made a mistake, even if something wasn't going ideally. That's nothing that would end the world. And we do that by, again, doing some energy work, some tapping, this time in a very special way. So we're only using the point between your eyebrows, the third eye point. And you can take one of your hands and tap lightly on this point. And then you state out loud whatever you wish to feel in a situation like this. You can repeat after me, or of course use your own words. So I would say, I want to feel confident in every situation. I want to feel so grounded that nothing gets to me that I don't actually invite into my field. Criticism can be a chance to learn, a chance of growth. It's not a threat anymore. I choose to view this as an empowered moment in my life, a moment that can lead me forward into where I want to be, into a more confident, more calm, more inspiring, more grounded, more peaceful version of myself. The version that I actually came here to be. And I am safe, whatever happens. And then you take in a deep breath. And when you breathe out, you release a sigh, like the sigh of relief of, oh, I have overcome this situation. And everything is still fine. So the moment of criticism, of you being in contraction that we've seen on the TV screen before, if you want, you can press play again and see if it's working out a different way, or you can just close the screen and say, like, I know everything's going to be fine. I know that I can now react in a different way. And then you can wiggle your fingers and toes and flutter your eyes open.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if anybody else experienced this because I always do these with you. My shoulders, I think, went down about 2 inches.
Oh, how amazing is
I
that?
was I didn't even know they were up in my earlobes until you said, now you can feel your neck elongate. And I was like, yes, there's a huge difference.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
good to hear.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I'm so glad that we can have this on repeat anytime because it's going to be available all the time. So if we need a quick little tapping event, that's what steps to our sovereign self are little snippets of time that we can have with ourselves to do these types of things. Thank you so much for this gift today.
You're so welcome. I love that you enjoyed it and yet you felt the immediate relief. That's always the best moment, I think, when you're like, oh, was there tension? Yes, there was, because now it's gone.
Yes. Well, the good news is Anna will be back for more. So don't you worry. I'm sure we'll be having her around many, many more times. And you can connect with her in our community, community.sovereign-magazine.com. She's also, all of her details are in the show notes. So don't you worry. You'll be able to find her and connect with her with all of her magic. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me again. It was lovely, as always.
Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another soul-led entrepreneur here to help you step into your sovereign self. Subscribe to our magazine and podcast and join our global community for all the magic. Details to connect with today's guest or join the movement are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It helps us reach our goal of guiding 5 million women to self-sovereignty.